Second game of the season for the UHSP Tactics. We are at the half. Assistant Sports Information Director Greg Tadish with you, and our guest at the half today, Mason Ballay, one of the guards for the Tactics after a season-opening loss earlier this week. Back in action today against the Red Wolves, and we'll just kind of start with game one. I know it didn't go in your guys' favor, an 83-65 loss. Just your thoughts on how that game went and where things kind of fell apart for you.
I think we played hard. That was the main thing. We kind of fell short of some details that we wanted to focus on. And, really for us is just take it as a learning experiment. So, get back in the lab, learn some things, take away from it, and try to be ready to go today.
Back in the lab, that was a pharmaceutical term rather than back in the gym. Is it difficult to mix the school load you guys have with the basketball load you have?
It definitely is. You have to kind of master time management, which is a little bit of a hard thing to do for me at 20 years old. But it definitely is. There definitely is checks and balances, things that, for myself, I love to live in the gym, but it's kind of hard, really. If I got a huge test coming up in a couple of days, I have to kind of focus in and really hit the material hard.
You guys, there was only a couple times in that first game where you guys actually looked up at the scoreboard and you were ahead. You fell behind early. You tried to play catch-up all game. You were never out of it until kind of midway through the second half. You hung around 10. Did it feel like you were just kind of spinning your wheels and always running that uphill battle the whole game?
Yeah, spinning our wheels is exactly what I was thinking. Felt like we could never just get over the hump, do what we needed to do, string some stops together, and get a few buckets. Really, I think our offense was a little stagnant. And with some key turnovers whenever we needed them, a few missed shots, a few missed easy layups and things like that, we really could never get ahead and get where we wanted to be. But credit to Oakland City. They did what they had to do to ensure that they had a victory that night.
You're a sophomore, your first ever game as a U Tactic. You went off for 20 against Lincoln on 6 of 9 shooting. You were 3 for 10 the other night. What happened to the stroke against Oakland City?
It's going to come. That's being a shooter like I am. That's kind of how there's ups and downs. There's good nights, there's bad nights. So I just got to make sure I do something else on the floor to help my team, get victories. That's kind of my what I am as a shooter. So, like you mentioned, my first career game as a tactic, I was kind of burning hot, but it's not always going to be that way. So they got to find other ways to help the team and contribute.
Do you remember that game? Does that got a nice memory in the memory bank there for you?
I do. It was a great season opening win for a team with a lot of seniors last year. I think that kind of took some load off their shoulders, and it kind of gave us a clear vision for the season. We can do this thing. Yeah, it was a great first game for my college career. It really was a boost of confidence.
Well, I talked to Darius for this halftime segment ahead of game number 1, and we talked about the mix of, 4 seniors, no juniors, and then it's all freshmen and sophomore, and that's kind of where you're piled in as that freshman sophomore group. Do you guys, as an underclassmen group of 9, understand how integral you guys are to the success this year? There's not just a pile of juniors and seniors out there.
Yeah, we definitely do. The good thing with us sophomores, myself, DJ, and Grant, is we got, pretty valuable minutes last year. So we were able to instill some confidence in ourselves, kind of learn the system, know what we need to do, realize what it takes to win basketball games at the college level. Because, winning basketball games at a high school level is a hell of a lot different than winning games at a college level. And I think we learned that last year. We had some games that slipped through our fingers. And so really for us this year, us sophomores kind of don't really view ourselves as underclassmen because, we don't really have time to think in those terms. So for us, it's all about bringing the freshmen along with us, teaching them what we know, getting them on the same page, and hopefully they can contribute with us and get them on the same page as winning as one.
I'm always interested in when, say, you're a grade school kid coming up, looking up to a high school player, or you're a high school player looking up to a college player. I sifted through your Twitter feed, and you post a lot of stuff about the Boston Celtics, who, by the way, earlier this week lost on Wednesday night to my Cavaliers, so I'm one up on you. Yep. What do you like about that group, and what do you learn from some of the guys that you're sort of drawn to off the Celtics in the world of basketball?
So a quick little backstory. There was a Mizzou guard named Phil Pressey that I was absolutely in love with whenever I was a kid. My mom's alma mater was Mizzou. And growing up watching Mizzou basketball, I was absolutely in love with him. So he went undrafted, and the team that signed him was the Boston Celtics. So I was automatically committed to them at that point. And ever since then, I've been a diehard fan. And like you said, they dropped one to the Cleveland Cavaliers on Wednesday night. Tough one, and we were watching it in the room. Great game. Terrible play design at the end, I think.
It was.
Coach Jay Mazzulla, but it'll be all right. One thing I love about their team is, they've had some adversity off the court stuff with their head coach or ex-head coach, I guess now. But one thing that they've battled through, and they opened up the season pretty strong, with good, strong leaders, guys that don't really care about scoring. Like, they have such good role players, I think, that care more about the we thing than they do about the me thing. And I think that kind of what keeps them on the right track as a great basketball team. All the other distractions kind of go to the side whenever you got guys in place that know how to play and they know how to win as one.
Mason Ballay, our guest on the halftime report. So if game number 1 against Oakland City was kind of the baseline of where you guys are going to start the season, you good with that? I mean, you wanted to win the game, obviously, but was that a good, okay, this is what we're all about. It's our first competitive game. We'll grow from here. We're okay.
I don't think so. I mean, we only got so many times that we're going to tip it up in the air for real, and I think each game is going to be so valuable. And, we'll take that game 1 as a learning experience and really move forward, but as a baseline, I think that was pretty poor. We can only build from there, in my opinion.
I asked Darius this same question. I'll ask the same question to you to wrap it up. So what will be a successful season kind of in your mind? It's not a program that's got all this notoriety of having these great winning seasons. At 10 last year was considered a good year. So what makes in your mind, if we do this, I'm good with it, it's a good season?
In my mind, we've never won the AMC Conference Championship, and I think for me and for my roommate Grant Harper and DJ, that's always kind of what we say. It's coming into the season. We want to be the class that does that for the first time. We really want to set our sails high, and we want to go tackle that. I mean, for something to make history, that's pretty special. That's kind of what we're chasing, making history. I mean, there's teams that we still haven't beat as a program, and, we're chasing that each year. Each year we want to knock these teams off. We want to do this. We want to do that. And I think for us as a whole, chasing history is a huge thing for us.
Looking forward to it. Great to meet you. Appreciate the time. Good luck today.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you. I enjoyed being here.
Mason Ballay, our guest on the halftime report. Back to the College Cast crew coming up in a minute.